Long-term relationships are a beautiful thing. As the years go by, your comfort levels flourish, your sense of security grows, but most of the time, so does their ass. That's why this episode of Bitchin' Kitchen is all about deflating your mate. That's right. I'm gonna prove that putting your pudgy partner on a diet can be easy. Well, until they get hungry. And when that belly starts to rumble, you better be sure you ain't serving up cardboard chicken with a side of resentment. I'm talking pepper-crusted sushi-grade tuna steak. I'm talking a Mediterranean Chick Pea Stew just bursting with flavor. And for dessert, an extra dark, extra decadent Chocolat with fleur-de-sel. Now I know what you're asking yourself. How can creamy chocolate pots be fat-free? Stick around to find out. And there's more. Hans is gonna grace us with some workout tips.
Yeah.
Panos is gonna teach us how to spot fresh tuna.
You gotta use your nose, bro.
The spice agent is gonna reveal the mysterious properties of cumin.
And how to use it for revenge.
I'm Nadia G, and this is Bitchin' Kitchen. When your partner starts packing the pounds, it's rough. It feels like you're stuck between a rock and a squishy place. On one hand, you gotta say something. On the other hand, you don't want that something to be your last words. So what do? The trick is less talk, more action. Take control of the kitchen and participate in the diet. This proves to your partner that you're there through thick and thin, and thicker. Let's get cooking. First up, our Wasabi Smashed Potatoes. We're gonna peel 3 russets and then cut them into uniform chunks just so they cook evenly. And into some salted boiling water they go for about 15 minutes, just until they're fork tender. Onto the teriyaki. First, we're gonna heat a saucepan on medium. Add a 1/4 cup of mirin wine, a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of low-sodium tamari soy sauce, a nice tablespoon of honey, a few cloves of crushed garlic, and a couple of knobs of peeled ginger. Give it a nice stir and bring it to a boil. Man, this sauce is just exploding with flavor, and it's pretty much fat-free. See, whenever you're cooking a low-fat meal, you want to use big flavors to make up for the lack of greasy goodness. Compensation is key. But you know this already. I mean, your mate may jiggle spontaneously, but they compensate by being the only one you can boss around. Same goes with the sauce. There's barely any fat, but the intense aromatics make it work. I'm gonna reduce the heat to low and let it simmer for 5 more minutes. Now we'll remove the garlic and ginger, and sakata. We're done. See, garlic and ginger are great for your health. They stimulate blood circulation, help boost your immune system, but some people, they take it too far. They want to believe that the simple act of eating certain ingredients will magically make them lose weight. Fads include the grapefruit diets, acai berries. How do you pronounce that? Oh, yeah. I forgot. I don't care. The fact is, there are only 2 ways to lose weight. Eat healthier and get more exercise.
Did somebody say exercise? Hi, I'm Hans, and I know a thing or two about getting hard. That's why I invented my patented workout system, which targets 3 major muscle groups by 5 sets of 15 reps. I like to call it
3 major muscle groups targeted by 5 sets of 15 reps.
Smile, baby! We're doing crunch for 5 sets of 15 reps. It's push-up time for 5 sets of 15 reps. Squat for 5 sets of 15 reps. Order now!
What do you know? It's time for a commercial break. When we get back, we're gonna whip up our wasabi smashed potatoes and sear this gorgeous tuna steak. Welcome back to Deflate Your Mate, because love is only blind for blind people. Now don't get me wrong, if your partner put on a couple of pounds during the winter, that's perfectly healthy. But if they're pulling a K-Fed, you gotta ask yourself why. Are they stressed, depressed? Do they hate you? Whatever the case may be, healthy eating helps. And these recipes are the first waddle on the road to recovery. Now it's time to introduce the star of our show, Yellowfin Sushi Grade Tuna. And here's Panos to tell us about it. Panos?
When you're eating a top-notch tuna steak like Yellowfin, you want to eat it rare, bro. But to eat it rare, it's gotta be sushi-grade quality. And you're only gonna find sushi-grade tuna at a good fish market. But remember, bro, just because you're buying sushi-grade doesn't always mean that it's fresh. That's why you gotta use your nose, bro. Believe it or not, fresh fish should never smell fishy. It should smell like the ocean, or like a cool breeze in your chest hair, like a mermaid that says, Panos, it's time. So don't be shy, bro. Next time you're at the fish market, grab that tuna, take a nice whiff. This way you're sure it's fresh. Because if it's not, your wife is gonna get mad at you. She's gonna scream at you. But you're good for nothing. You can't even bring home fresh tuna. Why'd I marry you? We should have stayed cousins. Just make sure it's fresh, bro.
Okay, thanks, Panos. Man, that mermaid part. Back to the tuna. Now first, we're gonna heat up a tablespoon of canola oil on high heat. While this gets going, I'm gonna give my hands a quick wash, huh? Look at this gorgeous tuna. Now that you've looked at it, we're gonna coat it with some freshly cracked black pepper. Now look at it again. Me.
Today's word is
Me.
pronunciation,
Me.
definition,
An abbreviation of the Sicilian slang term minchia. It can be used to denote surprise, excitement, anger, sadness, and introspection.
illustrative example.
Me. I can't believe it's not butter. Me. That's what I'm talking about. Now we're gonna baste it with our teriyaki sauce loaded with garlic, ginger, honey, and soy. When it comes to cook times for a 1-inch tuna steak, medium rare, you're looking at about 1 minute on one side and another minute on the other. If you like it well done, then I suggest you pretend you never said that. Perfect. Look at this gorgeous crust. This tuna steak's gonna be crispy on the outside, buttery soft on the inside. Man, you never had a tuna steak like this. Unless you had a tuna steak like this. Back to our potatoes. In a big bowl, add our boiled russets, a splash of soy milk. This is gonna provide the silkiness without the fat. Gonna add a nice tablespoon of wasabi for kick. Pinch of sea salt, and some freshly cracked pepper. Now mash it all together. Let's plate this dish. We're gonna slice our tuna against the grain. We're doing this to sever muscle, which makes the tuna even more tender. Add a generous portion of our wasabi smashed potatoes. And drizzle with our teriyaki. Silky tuna with a peppery, crisp exterior, our sweet and tangy teriyaki sauce. That pepper's really got bite. It's amazing. Give these mashed potatoes a taste. Wasabi just punches you in the teeth, but in a good way, you know? Man, diet or no diet, this dish rocks hard. Now it's time to cook up our Mediterranean Chick Pea Stew.
But aren't chickpeas loaded with carbs?
Sure they are, but they're also super low in fat, a great source of fiber, and quite frankly, a life without carbs isn't a life worth living. Man, these crazy carb-free diets are a load of garbage, not to mention dangerous. Sure, stay away from healthy grains and beans, but eat a pound of fatty meat every day. Brilliant! I'm sure I can even lose more weight once I'm hospitalized for a coronary, you nerds! Man, there's no quick fix for long-term health.
Did somebody say health?
Oh no.
Oh yeah! For only $9.99, less than a cup of coffee at the airport, you can own the secret to a ripped body for 5 sets!
Of 15 reps, yes, Hans, we got it.
Yeah!
Back to the chickpea stew. We'll start by making some roasted garlic. Roasted garlic is an amazing low-fat treat. You could butter your bread with it, slap a couple of cloves in an otherwise bland dish. You can even use it as an excuse not to make out with your rotund Romeo. A miracle ingredient it is. First, we'll slice the top off a head of garlic. Put it on some aluminum foil. Drizzle some extra virgin olive oil on it, about a tablespoon. Freshly cracked pepper. Seal it. Pop it in a 400-degree oven for about 40 minutes. Sakata. After these messages, we'll get cracking on our stew. Hey! In this episode of Bitchin' Kitchen, we're dealing with the delicate issue of spousal expansion. But by no means are we promoting an unhealthy body image. If you want to know the truth, it really ticks me off the way women are portrayed in the media. I know, this sounds like a feminist rant, but it is. Ow! At some point, it's just plain insulting. We're supposed to be real thin, yet have lots of babies. Be neurotic enough to constantly obsess about crow's feet, yet relaxed enough to orgasm simply by sniffing a freaking shampoo bottle. Sure, guys take a hit too, but boo-hoo, being ripped is still healthy. Although shaving with 18 blades, I'm not so sure. Bah, back to the stew. Heat a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil in a sauce pot on medium. While that gets going, let's prep our ingredients. First, we're gonna slice 3 scallions nice and thin. Next, we'll julienne 1 sweet red bell pepper. It's time to bring on the heat. When it comes to chilies, you gotta remember that the heat can vary from pepper to pepper. So what I like to do is a taste test. I slice off the pepper flesh and assess. If the flesh is hot enough for you, then good, throw out the seeds. If it's not, use the seeds. It's not rocket surgery. Next, we're gonna make a mint chiffonade. Stack about 5 mint leaves, roll them up, and slice them into ribbons. Fancy. See, when it comes to prep, you want to take the time to julienne the pepper, mince the chili, make a freaking mint chiffonade. All these little prep steps may seem like fluff, but they're actually super important. Not only they affect cook time, but ingredients are passive-aggressive. Oh yeah, if you don't pay attention to them now, they'll get you back when dinner is served. All right, let's throw the scallions and peppers into the pan. Now I'm gonna add some sea salt. Just a little pinch, some gorgeous paprika, and some cumin. Go easy on the cumin. The cumin's gonna give this dish its signature flavor. So here's
Yecheskel Mizrahi.
to tell us more.
Thank you, Nadia. Cumin is a pungent nutty spice with a very earthy flavor. Now, the word cumin comes from the 17th century French word cumin, which comes from the 16th century Arab word humin, which all come from the 15th century English word cumin. Now, cumin is an old spice, over 4,000 years old. The ancient Greeks used to have it on the table like we have salt, pepper, and cognac. Did you know that cumin is part of the parsley family and that Corey Haim is my cousin? It's true. Cumin is often used in Indian, Middle Eastern, or even Tex-Mex dishes. But be careful not to use too much cumin, or it will dominate. And that's exactly why I like to use it for revenge. Revenga! During the Great Ra'anana Pickle War of 1912, I sprinkled 42 kilos of cumin on my enemy. And while he was sneezing, coughing, and digestion, I was able to steal from him 4 pickles, 2 scooters, and 16 sheep.
Did somebody say the? If you order my patented workout system in the next 5 minutes, you get a bucket of Hans body grease at no extra charge. This special formula has been specially formulated.
Mannaggia la miseria, Hans, I hate to break it to you, but you can't patent sit-ups, push-ups, and squats. Anyone could do them.
Oh yeah? Can anyone do this?
Here I've got some organic San Marzano tomatoes. I'm gonna crush these babies by hand, and when we get back, we'll scoff this stew, and I'm gonna reveal the secret to making a fat-free pot au chocolat. Stay hungry! Was that cheesy? It felt a little cheesy.
Yeah, it's kind of cheesy a little bit, yeah.
Welcome back to Deflate Your Mate, the Bitchin' Kitchen episode devoted to depudging your partner. but you gotta be sensitive towards Mr. Squishy Bits. Man, the way I love to eat, I'm just plain lucky I don't weigh 500 pounds. As an Italian, I'm completely food obsessed. If I get invited to a wedding, I care more about the antipasto than I do the bride. When I'm eating a good meal, I'm usually thinking about another good meal I've eaten. I plan vacations around restaurants. My Bible is the Zagat. And if you were to ask me whether I'd rather make out with Clooney or scoff a creamy truffled mushroom risotto, man, I'd make out with Clooney. What was my point again? Oh yeah, the stew. What a gorgeous color. All the pepper juices, bold paprika, and earthy cumin. We're gonna add our hand-crushed San Marzano tomatoes, some brown sugar for sweetness, pinch of sea salt, some freshly cracked pepper. We'll let this simmer for about 20 minutes. Now let's get our roasted garlic out of the oven. Oh, this smells amazing. Garlic really transforms when you roast it. It becomes sweet and mild with a nice toasty aroma. It's gonna heighten our stew and give it a full-bodied flavor. We're almost done. Gonna throw in 2 cups of chickpeas, the zest of half a lemon, a handful of freshly minced parsley. Give it a good stir. And heat through. And there you have it, a satisfying Mediterranean chickpea stew. And with only 1 tablespoon of olive oil and a little pinch of brown sugar, this baby's got barely any fat. Let's give it a taste. The robust chickpeas smothered in a sweet and spicy tomato sauce, just loaded with peppers, chili, roasted garlic. Then you get the bang of the fresh lemon and mint. And what more could you ask for? Partner with a 6-pack, I know, but we're working on it, huh? Whoop whoop, it's dessert time. We're gonna be making Decadent pot au chocolat with fleur-de-sel. Hands down, one of my favorite desserts. But I'm not gonna lie to you, pot au chocolat typically ain't diet food. But through extensive scientific research and years of personal testing, I've come up with a recipe that's 100% fat-free for your mate. How did I do it? Wait for it. Wait for it. They don't get any! Hey, with all the cooking you've been doing for the benefit of their waistline, you deserve a treat. They don't need to know everything. Yamana. First, preheat your oven to 300 degrees. Next, we're gonna bring a 1.5 cups of whipping cream and 1/2 cup of whole milk to a boil on low heat. The second it starts to boil, take it off the heat. Now, we're gonna add 3 ounces of bittersweet dark chocolate, 1 ounce of unsweetened chocolate, just so it's nice and dark, and whisk it until smooth. Beautiful. Next, we're gonna combine 6 egg yolks with 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, a nice pinch of cayenne pepper for a bit of heat, and mix it all together. Here comes the tricky part. We're gonna slowly spoon in our hot chocolate mixture into the egg yolks. You really wanna take your time with this step. Since the chocolate is hot, if you dump it into the yolks in one shot, you're gonna end up with chocolate scrambled eggs, the breakfast of twits. So, just bring the temperature up slowly, 1 tablespoon at a time. Nice and easy. Easy does it. Slowly, slowly. There we go. Now, we're gonna pour the chocolatey goodness into little pots or espresso cups, whatever you have handy. Cover it with foil. Then pierce a couple of holes in it so the steam can escape. Then scaff these babies into a roasting pan. Fill the roasting pan with water halfway up the sides of the jars so they bake nice and even. We're gonna pop these in the oven and bake for 35 minutes. I'd say simple as pie, but it's a lot simpler, no? Okay, you wanna let these cool on your counter for about 30 minutes and then put them in your fridge for a couple of hours to chill. Or you could just snap your fingers. Oh yes, all right. I like to top my pots with fleur-de-sel. The subtle saltiness contrasts the sweetness of the chocolate, making it the ultimate flavor combination. Do I have to tell you how good these taste? I didn't think so. Today we made 2 low-fat meals and a pot au chocolat. The point is, diet food doesn't have to suck. And if you're cooking up delicious meals like this, your lover's never gonna miss the calories. See, at the end of the day, it's worth the effort because it's easier to fix a scratch than it is to get a new car. Let me explain. If you dump Sasquatch for a sleeker model, you're gonna have to lure them in with massages, pretend to listen, wear thongs. It's a long process to train a new mate, and why bother when you already got one that vacuums? Alla prossima!